not on the field, court or ice. You are on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall, delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from a hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, picking any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your Washington football team update, and I am your host, CWall. I am always excited to be here with you all to talk about the Washington football team. Listen, how's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? I'm seeing many comments already coming through from the Washington football team family. So I'm going to go ahead and shout out who I can see already on. I see Damon is on. I see Donetta is on. I see Cameron Mingo is on. And while you all are all on, can y'all say hello to my mother? Can you say hi to Mama Waller? Can you say hello to her? You guys, make sure you are checking in with the like or love emoji so that I know that you're here. I think Frank has checked in. Also, make sure you are sharing this show with, I think it's safe to say, Washington football team loving. Is that safe? Let me know if that's safe, because for a while it wasn't safe to say that. So is it safe? Is it all right to say? Because I think everyone is checking in now. And it's a lot that needs to be discussed. And I see a lot of folks checking in. And I have to go down the list as folks are checking in, because that's the right thing to do, even though we got a full schedule. You all, I know I see Kim, I see my cousins, Sabrina and Bridget, as well as others who are just jumping into the conversation. Okay, and make sure you all, again, it's safe to say Washington football team loving. So make sure you are tagging your Washington football team burgundy and gold folks. One person I didn't mention just yet, because we got to get into this conversation. It's very, very important that we get into this conversation. But before we get into that, I absolutely have to shout out CWall team member Joy Butler, because it is her birthday week. Joy is consistent. She makes sure that the conversation flows. She does an amazing job of marketing the show, and we have to absolutely shout Joy out and wish her a very happy birthday week. It's important that we shout her out. She sticks right here with your girl CWall, 3 years and counting. This job isn't easy to do every single week, okay? It's not easy. And she sticks in here no matter the weather, no matter what's going on. She's going to be online all the time and make sure this thing is produced to perfection. So please make sure you all give her a warm, happy birthday to Joy. Okay? All right, you guys. Okay. Now let me try to get my thoughts together, because we absolutely have to get into the show today. we have to do our first commercial break, if you will. We're going to get into, you all know the game. You know the game. It's very important. What's your one word? What's your one word, everybody? And this week's edition of What's Your One Word is brought to you by Roof Max. Excited to be part of the Bowie, Maryland community, Roof Max looks forward to serving the community for many years to come. You can visit them at www.getroofmax.com to learn more and to schedule a free assessment for your roof to determine eligibility. You can also connect with them on Facebook. Shout out to Roof Max. All right, checking out the one words. One words. Okay. Promising. I need these one words to come in because I got a one word for you this week. And I want my one word to be said and told, and only the way that I can do it. Okay. I have really, can I just share with you all while you all are dropping your one words? Can I just share with everybody that it was around 2 a.m. when I said, I'm about to do the show right now. And then I said, that's ridiculous because everybody is asleep. But I was still up. So a lot of one words coming in. Of course, I've tried to share them all on the screen. All great one words, so promising. Bridget said hopeful. Cameron said energetic. Joy saying playoffs. I can't tell you all what my mom's one word was because it really wasn't a one word. It was two words. But we'll get to that later. My one word was simply 3. It was 3 because it's 3 wins in a daggone row. And I'm just sitting there trying to understand it all. You got to think about it. Think it through, everybody. Think it through. Put your thinking caps on and really think about this thing. After the bye, Tom Brady, then the reunion game in Carolina, now Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football against Russell Wilson. And it's a lot. You all know that we've been playing this game here recently. You know, I like to play games. We just played one. What's your one word? Then there's another game. It's called Choose Your Own Adventure. And in Choose Your Own Adventure, that is when, seriously, this is a tactic that I'm just going to be real transparent with you all. This is a tactic, this is an engagement strategy that is used when you can talk about a number of things. You could talk about whatever. You can say whatever you like to say. But in Choose Your Own Adventure, it's when, hey, we're ready for whatever around here. Let's talk about whatever you like. And while you all drop those in the comments, I do have something else that I absolutely wanted to say. It was kind of like in the position of another game. You know, kind of like in the position of another game. And it was, if you follow me on Twitter at CWall SE, sometimes I say, give it up. Like, give it up. That's means hand clap. So I put together my own list of here's all of the people and things that I feel like is necessary to shout out that I was really, really that really made me smile about this prime time win. I said, you know what? Give it up to that person. Give it up. That means give a hand clap. That means give a pat, a virtual pat on the back for something that I believe that was great or made me smile or just brought some lightheartedness to the whole entire event. So listen, while you all are deciding what you want to choose your adventure, which way you want to go, let me go through my list of who I wanted to shout out. Seriously. You all know who has to be. It's about 4 or 5 people, and it's all relevant to the game. Okay. So you all know the first one. You all got to know the first one. Do you all know this fan? Who is that guy? Listen, that should be everybody in Washington football fandom, wherever you are, all over the world. That should be an example of how all Washington football fans should aspire to be. I got a kick out of that. I said, oh my gosh, if ever there was a gift of not up in here, that guy gets it. That guy absolutely gets it. And I said, you know what? Does anybody know that man? Does anybody know who that person is? Because if you do, you tell him whatever he's drinking, and I mean this. I don't care what is it. CWall got him. Link me to that person, please, because that's what I'm talking about. Be all friendly. Now, Coach Rivera did say that he enjoys and he likes that kind of energy out of the fans as long as no one gets hurt. And no one got hurt. No one got hurt during that demonstration. But it was a key indicator of what should absolutely transpire when you try to run up and jump up in the fan stadium of the opposing team. Get down from there, sir. Shouldn't have never jumped up there. If anybody knows who that guy is, please let me know. And I'm being extremely serious. Like, I'm being dead serious on that one. That man deserves a drink of whatever he would like. Next up on here, this is who gets my next shout out. This is very important, everybody. Terry McLaurin's touchdown celebration chain. So listen, on the left of your screen, right, that's the picture I took in the press conference. But before Terry walked out of the room, Rhiannon Walker from The Athletic, my homegirl, she asked Terry, let me get a shot of that chain. Check out the chain, though. I'm going to let that sit there for a minute. That is Terry's touchdown stance right there. The chain, okay? The TD chain absolutely is on my list of shout outs. It's important. It's absolutely important. And absolutely, the chain is fire. So every time Terry come up in here, he got a new chain. I'm with it. Chain game is on point. I'm digging it. Number 3, shout out. You got to give it up. You absolutely have to give it up for Coach Ron Rivera. And let me just say, when he walked into that hallway, it was real fired up in that hallway. Listen, it's hard not to contain your excitement at times. And I was really just appreciative of, he had to let it go. Coach he had to. Listen, this is absolutely just something that because Coach is so poised, he's so calm, and Coach just let it all fly. And I was like, that's right. There you go. Let's get it. It's hard not to, you got to hold in that excitement. He's excited, and that's good. The whole entire team was excited. But to see Coach Rivera get that excited was fun for me. Absolutely fun for me. Now, I did not have the O-line coach on the list, but the O-line coach, absolutely, give that man his flowers. We've been talking about the O-line coach the last couple of weeks because it's one of those position groups that is so important, yet they don't get any real notoriety. It's like nobody really cares, right? Only when they're doing bad does somebody care, but not when they're holding up. They've gone through 4 centers. And now this is totally improv right here. This is straight up. Russ had a comment. I said, let's go with it. Yes, because he give it up for the O-line coach. Absolutely correct. Because this the fourth center, the only person I know at this point is Brandon Sheriff. I'm like 75. That's Brandon. So I'm like, who else is out there? What is going on here? And you don't see Taylor flinch. You don't see the movement. You can't tell the difference. The level of consistency in performance is still the same. Give it up for the O-line coach. Now, the two other people I wanted to give it up for. I wanted to give it up for Logan Thomas. Here's why. And I wasn't able to pull this part of the presser. I actually did not capture it on my phone, so that's on me. They normally post the pressers after they're done, but I didn't see where Logan's was posted. Logan Thomas wanted to make it very clear that his teammate on defense, Cameron Curl, is one of the top 5 safeties in the league, and he is tired of him not getting the recognition he believes that Cameron Curl deserves. I was like, now look at this here. Isn't this good? This is good, because this is teaming right here. When you can say, wait a minute, and it's not necessarily directed toward just like local media. This is something that's directed at like local and national media, because as you know, in primetime games, national media is in the room. The national level of ESPN is there. The national level, NFL Network is there. So he's like, hey, y'all need to shout. You need to shout him out. Cameron Curl out here working hard. He out here doing what he's supposed to be doing. And he out here balling, and y'all not saying his name. Top 5. I was like, shout out to Logan Thomas for looking out for his teammate and making sure his teammate is getting the correct recognition. I can appreciate that for certain. Now, I know you all are probably anxious and wondering who gets my last shout out. But before we get there, I do have to run this quick commercial. Last up on my shout outs from the primetime win over the Seattle Seahawks, it's Tress Way, honestly. Tress Way was hilarious in his after game press conference, and here's why. As you all know, Joey Sly was injured. He pulled his hamstring during the game. He will be out for a minimum of 3 weeks. What I really appreciated was before Tress came out there was Coach Rivera and then Tress. So Coach Rivera shared, because he was asked, I can't remember who asked the question, but he was asked about the plan at kicker. They knew at halftime, there's no kicker. The team does not have a kicker. We will not be kicking any field goals for the rest of the game. Everything for the rest of the night, there was no emergency plan. And here's why I'm shouting out Tress Way, because Tress Way, and we saw them, Tress Way and Kyle Allen they were practicing on the sideline. Told the special teams coach, talked to Coach Rivera, this is not gonna work. We can't kick this. We can't kick this football. We cannot kick this football on primetime TV. You got a better chance. Literally, this is what they're saying. You have a better chance of getting it on 4th and goal. Run it in. Do something. Just don't use us to kick your football. Not tonight. I appreciated that. I absolutely appreciated that, you guys. It was hilarious to me, but it is so real, because I say this all the time. There is power in transparency. Hey, listen, I'm not going to gas you. I'm not going to make you think I can do something that I absolutely cannot do. I cannot kick that football through those goalposts, and I will not do it. I will not. I appreciate that, Tress. Thank you, Tress. Appreciate that. Tress got a good reputation. And everybody knows if he would have bombed with that field goal, it would have been a whole big mess. Everybody would have turned on Tress, and he's not even the field goal kicker. Can he kick a field goal? Yes, but do you want him to kick the football? Probably not. And he absolutely deserves to get recognized for saying we can't do it. Well, that's the sign that you got to go for it every time. So I know there was a lot of conversation. I try to keep up with what fans are talking about so that we know what to address on the show and everything. And I think it's important to note that there was not an emergency plan. There was no emergency plan. They tried. They said it wasn't going to work. They got to go for it for the rest of the game. Listen, I absolutely appreciated all of those things, and I had fun. So hopefully there's more of enjoying being able to give shout outs, because that doesn't happen often. Does not happen often. Here's another thing I wanted to bring up, and this is not the shout out. We're going to get back to the kicker in a moment. It's Landon Collins in his position at linebacker. Coach Rivera likes to call it Buffalo nickel. At this point, I like to call it not safety. I don't know what his position is called, whatever you would like to call it, but it is not safety, right? Coach Rivera, the coaching staff, they are elated by his performance since he's made the switch. Landon is making it still open and honest that he's not thrilled. He's still not happy with the move, but he's going to do whatever he can to help the team win. I don't know about you all, but he's gotten a lot better. You're hearing his name called more since the switch was made. Now, I will also say this, if I'm being perfectly honest. When I start hearing his name called early, I say, okay, this offensive line is not ready. The defense has an opportunity here to really make an impact. The other time that this happened was in the Denver Broncos game. Now, as we all know, the Washington football team did not come away with the W, and they absolutely should have, because Denver's offense was not good. But on this particular primetime game, we saw the defense hold up for the entire night. Saw Kendall Fuller make big plays. Maybe I should have added this to my give it up and shout outs, because there was a lot to go around. The depth, Shaka Tony. Let's talk about it. The depth on defense, everybody panicked. And I remember a few weeks ago, I shared a clip with you all. It was the game where Chase Young was injured. And Jonathan Allen was asked about the concern about the depth, who's going to fill the shoes of Montez and Chase. And I mean, hey, those are big shoes to fill. But Jonathan Allen, I'm able to read his nonverbal cues and just see how he is in his posture and his poise, and if he really is confident or if he really is not, and he's just trying to act like he is. And he was really genuinely confident. Like, hey, I know you guys may be worried, but I'm not. I see them in practice. I know what this depth and what this roster is capable of. They're going to be just fine. They've been just fine, haven't they? I said, wow. Well, would you look at this? Jonathan Allen was very open and honest and very direct and frank in his question, in his answering of that question. And we're seeing it right now happen flat out, full-fledged. Now, let's go back to the kickers. Isn't this just a strange thing this year? The situations that are happening with the kickers, this is normally something that this team sees with the quarterbacks. But at least it's not with the quarterback, right? It's good. Brian Johnson is now the quarterback, going back to the conversations that were had during halftime yesterday. You know, Coach Ron Rivera shared with the team and with his scouts, call Brian, get somebody up in here. We need a kicker. Well, they started working on Brian and trying to get Brian in here during the game. Right. was really, y'all know, I was kind of happy about the kicker. I was like, Joey Sly is doing this thing out there. And out on injured reserve, that's a minimum of 3 weeks. Minimum of 3 weeks. So we shall see what happens in that storyline for certain. Before we close out the show, one more commercial break. So, just a recap and just thinking about, and it was actually Russell Wilson's birthday. So thinking about just prior to the game, I know we discussed on the last show that the Seahawks were a team in trouble. They were absolutely in turmoil. You know, Pete Carroll couldn't even finish his press conference the following week. The week prior, excuse me. Could not even finish it at all, right? And so this was an opportunity for the team to do exactly what they did, and that was Hold'em. That was Hold'em. Now, that was the game beautiful throughout? No. There were some instances when I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that just happened. You've got to be kidding me. But Seattle is a team that is struggling, and Washington knew that, and they took advantage of that, and they came out with the W. The tactic of these forever long is what I'm calling them. These forever long, just exemplary game management on the offensive side, just getting them, keeping that ball, keeping it. That's huge. And it's working. It's working. Because let's be clear, Russell Wilson is not, that's another quarterback that you don't want to just give the ball back to. You just don't want to give the ball back to Russell Wilson. Now, the Washington football team was almost a mess there. It was almost some things that it was just like, look, this is getting dangerous. And it was still some things we know late in the game. You wish Antonio Gibson would have stayed in bounds, right? Instead of going out of bounds. He's done that a couple of times. But still very strong performance by Antonio Gibson. Shout out to him as well. He did well and he held on to the football. So that was good. But they took advantage. They knew this team is in trouble. They're desperate for a win. And they're not all together there. So they made it happen. Wasn't a high-scoring game, wasn't a high-powered offensive game, but they did what needed to be done to get the W. Now, when we all connect again on the DC Sports Weekly, there'll be a lot more discussion about the Washington football team's next game against the Raiders. Because listen here, and I think you all know what I'm about to say. If Washington can end up with a W against the Raiders and then have all these NFC East games to close out the season, oh, this is going to get real interesting real soon. So always, as you all know, more to come. Always more to come. You all, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you're still sharing the show. Make sure you are still checking it out on Fridays on channel 11 and channel 77. You guys, I will be seeing you all again soon.
You're not on the field, court, or ice. You're on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall. Delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from a hometown perspective.